Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 24 of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Lost Everything. Remember to give this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Jashin sealed inside of him over on Anime King 3. And enjoy that guys. And also I posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Legendary Neglected Uzumaki over an Anime King. So go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last spot we left off as Katsubi and her team was moving through the forest of death when they were attacked by the grass ninja, but it was none other than Orochimaru, as he swiftly took out Hinata and Katsubi, knocking them down. As he placed the curse mark on Kiba, Kiba fell down unconscious, as he would try and come for him for power if he survives. Anko then came in, as she saw Orochimaru after what he did to her. She wanted to kill him, but in the state that she was in, she should be running and leaving. After all, she was pregnant. As Orochimaru seemed to know that, as he came at her so ferociously, she was afraid for the baby's life, as she jumped back and dashed away from him, as he wounded her, but nothing too badly as Kakashi arrived. As Orochimaru ended up fleeing, not because he was afraid, but he had other things to take care of, and because more envoys and more too much commotions were coming. With that, Anko was held by Kakashi. In doing so, she was brought towards the hospital. That is where Kushina came in. Someone had burned the records and the S-rank mission that she was placed upon to make sure that Naruto remained loyal to the village. The documents were burned, as Kushina told Anko that she knew everything about it. And what she wanted is she wanted to be a part of this new baby life. She wanted to be a part of his life because she wanted Naruto to accept her as well. She wanted to be a part of their family, and she didn't want him to see her as a monster that he saw her as anymore. Anko had no choice but to accept, as Naruto did not come to visit her in the hospital. He did not, which made her panic. Meanwhile, with Danzo, Orochimaru was there with Danzo. The kids were gone. Snavi and the kids, Yume and Karen, were gone, as Orochimaru was told by Danzo to find them. Danzo wants something else though. He wants the little boy. Yes, he wants Tobirama. They used Tobirama to activate the Sharingan eyes, somehow because of the bloodline he had. They used the people that died and they couldn't activate their Sharingan in the massacre. They want Tobirama to awaken them, and that is what he did. As Orochimaru took the boy with him, he will find those girls and bring them back, as Danzo wanted them, as he had to have them in his corner. Meanwhile, Minato was furious with Danzo, as the man was trying to blame Kira for the Uchiha massacre, saying that Kira was the one that stole the Sharingans and now implanted himself the attack on Naruto. As Minato was switching his thoughts when he felt something strange. Well, he didn't feel it, but he agreed with Danzo. The Kira ninjas were the one that were involved in the Uchiha massacre after all. As the man was saying that, Danzo's eye was spinning under the bandage, as he used his technique on Minato to dive into the man's mind, placing a subtle genjutsu without Minato even noticing. As he agreed with Danzo, Danzo then made his way off as everything was going towards his plan. Meanwhile, Naruto was mad at Hinata and Katsumi. He was really mad at them. They wanted to complete the exam so bad that they didn't even focus on Kiba's situation, as Kiba was in a bad state, as he took Kiba and sealed up the mark and bring him to the hospital, as Anko was angry that Naruto did not visit her. Naruto was pissed at her. Although he could reveal everything yet, he was furious, as he told her to be quiet She was pregnant and yet she went out there to fight Orochimaru. And not to mention he's been searching for their daughters the entire time. As he left in a furious state, Anko broke down right there as she started crying. She knew what she had to do. She had to go to that man to find out if he knew anything to bring her daughters back. She couldn't. A thought came in her head to just erase them from Naruto's mind, but she couldn't do something like that. That would be beyond, taking it too far. She had to go to Danzo to ask for his help once again. As the fight began, as Hinata faced off against Neji, you could clearly see her jealousy, seeing that Neji, was taught and given special treatment by Naruto. She actually went as far to use a birdcage seal on him. But Neji placed a seal on himself that completely cut off the chakra flow as he take her out in taijutsu. He's been training with Lee and Guy after all. Her father was disappointed in her. No use in that, the branch members and the main members will have more quarrels because the main members will be angry that Neji found a way to counteract the seal, and Hinata went too far. The man was angry at her. Also, Katsumi faced off against Sakura. Sakura was a bit strong, but she was no match for Katsumi, who took her out rather quickly. As Minato wondered though, the scroll that Katsumi and her team got, it was from Kumo ninjas. But they said that they just found the scroll and that they did in the forest waiting for them. But who left it for them? Something was going on confusing Minato, and he was also worried. He had warned Danzo not to touch the girls, because he would push Naruto over the edge, something that they did not want. He was pushing things too far. It's like the mind games at first, but now things were going out of hand. They were getting dangerous. So yeah guys, so basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the place, check out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. We begin this episode with Naruto. He had no idea where to go. He had accepted the summon to the tower, as he wanted to see if it was as bad as Kakashi said it, to see his team condition. The two stupid girls had decided to keep going on, to let their teammate be in pain to reach the tower. At the moment, he was on top of the tower, at the center of the forest of death. He was on the roof, looking down. He could hear the noises all around, the movements of animals. "Oh, I didn't think this spot would be taken," a voice behind Naruto said, which caused Naruto simply to shrug. "There seemed to be a bit of moody weather up here," the voice said behind him. But Naruto did not turn around. "It's a quiet place. There's nothing here bad," he said. "No deceit, no lie, no harm. Nothing but the ear whistling through my hair. The sounds of the animals down below. Humans lie always, don't they? Meh, I'm not one for philosophy. But I can tell that you need to man up and let go of your fears." "Fears? I'm afraid?" "That you are," the voice said. "I can smell it, you know. It's the fear of loss. The fear of not knowing what to do next. The fear of the unknown. Well, you have to live with it, or you have to destroy it. How should I fight against an entire army of shadows?" then Naruto asked. As a person behind him hissed in laughter. "You don't fight shadows, boy. You shove them in the light, and you destroy them there. More will reform, but you have to crush them as well. That is how you win against the darkness, isn't it? Tell me, just how is it that you speak?" Naruto asked. "A word here, a sentence there. A genuine team. I survived, boy. Survival of the quickest, survival of the smartest. That is how you work. But you're afraid. You're afraid of opening the snake nests. Afraid of what you'll find at the end. Afraid of the unknown. The shadows make pretty paintings," said Naruto. "Is it a crime that I want to keep on watching them?" "It is, because they're just shadows. And shadows do not belong to the light." "And what if I don't want the light?" Naruto asked. "Why wouldn't you? The light means freedom, it means liberty. It means destruction and death as well. But mostly, light is nothing more than the sign of a coin, tossed by the hand of fate. You know, I'm starting to doubt my sanity," said Naruto, as he turned his only eye to look at his speaker, barely suppressing a smirk. "What can I say?" the person said. "I'm a fast learner. Well, see ya, boy. I'm gonna make my own choices. I'm gonna go take the sun elsewhere." As what was speaking to him was a snake, black scale, with blue eyes. As he slipped her away. "I'm going mad," said Naruto. "Even if snakes can talk to me, then I better go before the trees start talking as well. However, first, Tobirama," as he vanished. Meanwhile, with Danzo. So he had planned something a bit more complicated than what was happening now. He had planned for her to at least think for a moment that he was the one that kidnapped her daughters, but that thought never crossed Uncle's mind. Instead, she had been angry at the lack of Tobirama in the root quarters. "You promised me he will be kept safe," said Uncle as she looked at the empty room where Tobirama was supposed to be. "You gave me your word. You used him to keep me in line, and I stay in line. Tell me, where is he?" We had to move into a safer location. Whoever kidnapped your daughters tried to kidnap him as well, but failed obviously. I want to see him, immediately. Are you making demands to me, Danzo asks. Where is my son, she said with a murderous gaze. He's somewhere safe. He will be back after the exams, and after someone take the hat. Well, better take the Hokage's hat, obviously. Now, concerning your daughter's disappearance, I want them back. Send your goons everywhere, but I want them back. You were the one that had me keep Yumi as my child. Now, I need her back. Naruto is not gonna talk to me for months, and without Yumi, he might leave you, even now, even if you're pregnant again, right? Danzo asks. Yes, so what, she asks. Well, you're the one at fault, Danzo said. You were supposed to keep your daughter safe, but you did not. So, it is obvious. If I have to rescue your daughters, I need something in return. Accidents happen with many unborn children, and I believe you're gonna get 2 wonderful grown girls, which you already love. That was before I found out Tobirama was missing. I'm not risking my newborn child for any empty promises. I was giving you a deal. But tell me, who do you think hold your mission report, young girl? Now let me tell you this, if you refuse, you will lose everything. Naruto will know, and he will take your child, and you, maybe, will be exiled from Konoha. You will lose everything, every single thing. Uncle eyes widen in realization. Danzo was the one that burned down the archives. At least, Adi, really? That means he also had the documents. So she had to keep her word to Kushina, and also keep on Danzo's good side as well. She lowered her head. I've lost everything already, haven't I? She said. You could still have a smaller family, but it's still a family. All you need to do is to trust in me, and I'll make sure, when Naruto does become Hokage, he won't go looking for any S-rank missions, or for missing child. Accidents do happen, and with a tragic death at birth, who better than his darling wife to bring him happiness once again for being there for him? Uncle was torn. Even if she did refuse, what was there for her? What could she do against the man actually alone? She had no choice. She had to take the deal. I accept, she said. Save my daughters and my marriage. And you can keep this, she said. She pointed towards her stomach. Everything was going to be fine. Danzo then heard a gurgle. A gurgle of someone getting their throat slit. He narrowed his eyes as if Kunoichi did not hear it. Someone professional. To make it so that she didn't hear it, he had to keep that baby safe. If we're done here, I have business to attend to. Lead yourself out, he said, as he quickly made his way out of the other door, turning towards the root guard outside. Blood was splattered across the wall. The man's throat had been slit. As Danzo smelled blood going deep down into the root base, he looked down towards a light fog that was at his feet. Letting those Kira Jonins escape wasn't a smart thing at all. Had someone already infiltrated Konoha? No, that was impossible. Kira would take months to get here if they had to dock ships and bring their army. So that meant the Kira Jonins that brought their Genin team here, they did not leave. Knowing that they were going to be blamed for the attack on Konoha, perhaps they stayed behind to strike. But if that was the case, how did they know of Root? Uncle wouldn't have talked, so who? He heard another splatter, another one choking on blood. Danzo left his cane against the wall as he moved. He had to be serious and quiet, and that he would be. He doubted he would have to resort to a secret weapon, but removing the gauntlet on his arm required 3 minutes. As Danzo arrived towards the training ground of Root, and the sight that he saw was nothing but carnage. Danzo had called back all of his roots for the upcoming Chunin exams. The one that would put him as the puppet master behind the puppet that was playing the Hokage's seat, and he will be the overall controller. All of them, in front of his eyes, dead or dying. One after the other, they turned and fell. Something flickered as Danzo saw it as another one dropped. Blood pooled around in the natural empty floor. Mass that should be blank had been bloody. Giant holes were in some of his best men on the ground. The light mist had a blood red view. Danzo released a burst of wind from his mouth to reveal the ninjas who was doing this. One of them had a light colored hair and shark-like teeth, dark sleeveless shirt and light colored pants, and leg warmers typical of Kira ninjas. He was carrying a water bottle attached to his belt, and he had bandage around his neck. The other one had tubby, blue hair and dark eyes. He also had shark-like teeth, a blue, thin, striped shirt, and black camouflage pants. He was also wearing glasses. Both of them stood there silently. So you did not escape, Danzo said, and yet you came to the beast den. What can I say? I care for Master Jennings, main jutsu said. His sword wasn't the giant blade that he had in the exams back then. Instead, it was that thin, long blade, the new berry. Kojiro had the massive blade on his back, but instead of using it, he had a cone in his hand. After all, they were using the silent technique of killing. Here is shinobis fighting for their comrades. Please. Such idiotic lies don't work on me, said Danzo, as he quickly sent a pulse of chakra. Two shinobis appear in front of him, with their root mask on. Fu, Torun, take care of the intruders. I have to face someone, said Danzo as he turned. As Danzo's eyes went straight towards the other, one-eyed shinobi, none other than Naruto Senju himself. Danzo could feel the Midarashi girl moving closer to them. Stupid girl, she was probably curious. She should have left. You remember once more, said Danzo. You're stupid to try and fight it, come on. Keep your eyes closed and forget what you saw down here, and go back upstairs. The Kodomasukami began its work, the genjutsu peering into Naruto's mind. The ear became thick and tense. Not today. Where's my son, Danzo? Somewhere safe, Naruto. Now, it is only a matter of time before your brain refute reality and accept my dream. I'll have to keep you somewhere occupied though for the time being. I suppose Shogi. Danzo flashed two hand signs as he fired several ear blades towards Naruto quickly. The ear waves slashed right through Naruto as he turned into water. A water clone as always, Danzo said, as he twists, blocking a rock projectile. As he blocked it, looking around. You're predictable, Naruto, he said. As he looked over to the side, there had to be a chameleon there. Ryu, wasn't it? You spoke of him, you know, said Danzo. As Danzo heard the crackling of a blade. Danzo pulled out his arm out of a sling as he slammed his arm into the blade. His arm was enclosed in a bracer. Danzo used the thunder blade as he pulled his arm down to slice the bracers off as they dropped to the ground at thud. As that happened, a stream of air slammed right into Ryu's back as he poofed. The next moment, Danzo hand bulged as Naruto saw it. The face on the man's shoulder, not to mention the Sharingans implanted in the arm. You were the one that ordered the Uchiha slaughter then, said Naruto. So this was the truth, Itachi never did it. He never slaughtered his clan, but you made him pay for it. What did you do? Promise to kill his family if he did not comply? Probably, I might have, but do we have to get physical, Naruto? You know that all I need is a single hand sign to kill your son, right? Naruto growled angrily, you lie, and I will never believe you ever again. But you would believe your precious wife, would you? She always said the truth, hasn't she? Come on down, Senju-san, get him to understand his place. Danzo was starting to get nervous even though he was acting all confidence. He could keep the chakra drain on his arm with ease, but the Kodomasukami, it wasn't working. Anko appeared from the shadows, trying to hesitate and smile. Listen, Naruto-kun, she said. Please, Danzo-san's a good person. You have to believe him. The damn genjutsus are off. And tampering my brain, it's all over now, said Naruto. As Naruto didn't even look at her. Please, I just had to do what the Hokage ordered me to, she said in tears. Oh, but I don't blame you for that, said Naruto. You see, we're having a misunderstanding. I don't blame you for following orders. I'm blaming you for repeatedly having my mind tampered with, choosing the easy way out instead of choosing the righteous one, and for condemning our son to live underground without ever seeing the sun without eyes, all for your personal gain. That is what I'm blaming you for, you bitch. Caring about your damn stuff instead of others. And thank you for letting me rant, said Naruto. As he finished what he was doing. There was a wall that suddenly erupted, trapping the shinobis inside the cave. The walls, everything in the ground then flashed pink, showing the entrails of an animal before returning back to stone. This is Keimryu, the boss summons of chameleons, or at least his stomach. From here, there is no escape for neither of you. I'm calling off the lies and deceits. Today we shine the light of truth on you lot. Danzo gritted his teeth angrily as he glared towards Naruto. He just hoped that Fu and Torun hurry up and defeat the enemies quickly, so they could immobilize the Senju brat. He wouldn't want to kill him because that would send years of planning straight down the drain. Just why did the boy decide to take the frontal assault against him? Why couldn't he sit in the back and watch the games unfold? This was going to make things more difficult. He had it all set out. He had prepared the assassination of the Kazekage, and he was going to shift all the blame to Minato, using that to shift him from his position and make Naruto take the spot. Then he would use the Kodomasukami and keep Naruto on a leash as a new Hokage. after having Minato killed by none other than Orochimaru, or even Hiruzen. Then he would turn that spoiled, red-haired princess into a weapon. And the Uzumaki woman, she could work well as breeding stock for those chakra chains. Maybe Orochimaru could even get that bloodline to others, and then he would have Mokdon and chakra chains root members powered by Sharingans. Just thinking about all that power was enough to make him plan ahead a long way. But now it was all being ruined, all because the damn boy couldn't be stayed on his leash. He could have tried to directly control the Hokage, but a quick change in behavior would make Hiruzen suspect something. So he used the boy and molded him, so there wouldn't be any problems at all. But now, things were going to hell. Meanwhile, Torun, the root member, as he was an Aburame also, he dropped his gloves as his hands were purple. As he charged, trying to move towards the weaker of two, Fu tried to give him cover, as he was a Yamanaka, moving towards Mainjutsu. Kojiro's sword got charged with chakra as it turned into a hammer. He slammed it in the ground, creating a massive shockwave, stopping them from coming too close. Mainjutsu on the other hand just stopped moving, as Fu collapsed on the ground. A second later, Fu had to return back to his body, jumping up in fright. As he held onto his hand, it felt like 1,000 needles had pierced through it. His hand was covered in blood. Newberry, like any other sword of a seven swordsman, obey only the master that wields it, said Mainjutsu with a chuckle. And I do not bleed. So where does that leave us? As he showed his right hand, that was oozing water, as it slowly reformed. Kojiro, careful on the other one. He's a Burmese member with the Dekomachi. As Mainjutsu speed through hand signs at Torun went after Kojiro, water spewed out of his mouth that swallowed the entire area, pushing back all the dead root body, forcing Torun and Fu to leap back as well. Meanwhile, over to the other side, saplings and tree branches grew from the earth, trying to capture Naruto. As Naruto froze them, an ice forest was now becoming their background, as Naruto sliced through ice, steel and wood. Anko was in the corner, staring at the fighting, her eyes looking at both men fighting. Who should she help? Why couldn't everything just go back to the way it was? Why couldn't he just smile and accept her words and just leave? Why was her heaven being ended? Why was her paradise being broken down and destroyed? Because of who? Of who? Why? She had no answer. She only knew that she was going to lose everything very soon. Tears started to stream down her cheek. You brat, we could have ruled Konoha, brought her up on a new age. Do you realize all the damage you're going to cause to the village? If I die, think about what will happen. Kiri won't back down after Minato make his accusations. Come on, open your eyes and stop this foolishness. As Danzo released a massive wind sight that forced Naruto to leap. As Naruto's face was becoming angrier and angrier by the second. As Naruto released a massive water torrent, Danzo spewed wind on kunais and shurikens and threw them, slicing through it. You think you can beat me, child? I train you to what you are. You are nothing but a puppet, Danzo said. No, said Naruto. I am someone you shouldn't have underestimated. As Naruto tapped a seal on his armor. Do you think I spent the past 5 days doing nothing? As Danzo charged forward, but Naruto released a scroll from his seal. The scroll released a typhoon of water that smashed into Danzo. Usually, a person would have turned into paste, but instead, Danzo simply vanished. As a Sharingan eye closed in his right arm, his gaze turned murderous. I am done playing, Senju. Accept your fate, or I'm going to have to do without you. Naruto uncle screamed out. He has our daughters, and he did not lie when he said he could kill Tobirama. Please, please, I know you hate me. I'm fine with that, but please, think about your son. Shut up, said Naruto, as he released a wind attack that slammed into her, hitting her in the wall. She could have dodged it because it wasn't that strong or fast, but if he wanted her dead, well, after all she did, she deserved it, right? As she sat there, she let darkness, unconsciousness claim her. She didn't want to know what was going to happen next time she woke up, because everything had been taken away from her, and she was going to wake up and see it again, so she would choose death, maybe in the afterlife. She could try and get forgiveness from Tobirama. As the seal on her neck, the 9 erroneous started to count down. So you reveal your true, heartless self, Jinchuriki, Danzo said. As Naruto merely smiled and shook his head. Not yet, he said, as he placed her right blade back in his stance. And Naruto shifted into a stance that shocked Danzo. But that's... Come on, Spiky. Danzo was shocked at that. Tobirama, call him Spiky. Let me show you how similar I am to your sensei. As Naruto dashed forward in a blur of speed. BAM! As Danzo was knocked senseless by a right fist into his face. As Naruto blurred out of sight, Danzo felt pain in his other arm as he was smashed in the back, slammed in the stomach, punch over the head. As Danzo didn't see the blue eye of Naruto anymore, he saw the red eye of Tobirama when he was teaching them taijutsu, when he was showing them how to hit to kill, how to hit to beat and broke and maim, to take down the enemy. As a brutally snapped his head back, another eye closed on Danzo's hand as he reappeared. Danzo shook his head. Pathetic. You're nothing but a copy, and a bad one as well. A forgery. As he kicked after Naruto, who jumped back and landed as he placed both hands on the water. Spiky, do you remember lesson number 2? Ninjutsu only work if you have both space and time. Seals draw on the water as a mist emerge, a fiery mist. Lesson number 3, Genjutsu work when it's subtle. Danzo coughed up blood as 2 blades drive deeply in his stomach. The Kiba blades. He wastes another eye, only to find out that it wasn't reality. Lies and deceit, Spiky. Lies and deceit make our world. The ground under his feet broke away, but Danzo's eye spun as he broke through the Genjutsu. He looked around as Naruto was standing there. Lesson number 4, mobility, makes a ninja. As Naruto's speed increased once again. Stop this insanity, this instinct, you're not Tobirama Sensei, as Danzo released another massive wind blade that hit Naruto's armor. As Danzo then received a massive whirling kick in the side of the face. Lesson number 5, body, as the water clone dispersed. Lesson number 6, mind. The mist around Danzo started to increase as he started to look around in every spot. He wouldn't admit it, but he was trembling in fear. Did Tobirama manage to reincarnate himself? Was the second coming of the second? Actually, Tobirama rebirth. He had never won against Second Hokage, never. Was this going to be a repetition? Lesson number 7, technique. As Danzo moved as the blades came down, only for him to be impaled through the back with a kunai. As another eye closed. Damn you, Senju, Danzo said. My dreams cannot end like this. Not here. Not now. You reap what you sow. You earn what you deserve. You thought you could control me. Think again. You thought you could rule unpunished. Power is not granted. It's achieved through hard work. Thousands of hours of practice. Danzo roared in rage as he released hundreds of wind blades around him, trying to get out of this mist. Lesson number 8, Spiky. Follow the rules of kind heart, not a tyrant eye. Water release. As Naruto was covered in the body of a dragon, as the thing roared and shot forward, Danzo had to use another eye once more. As Danzo reappeared, another water dragon slammed into him, forcing him to use another eye, like a flood has no dam. So much pressure coming down, crushing his bone, the water did not stop. At the third eye loss, as Danzo felt his bones crushed once again, his eyes opened in fright when he realized, as he dismissed the Genjutsu, the moment he broke out of the Genjutsu, he spasmed, as the thunder blade was inside his chest. As the 8th eye closed. This is impossible, Danzo said. You're a kid. Against my experience, my battles, you're nothing. Guide the people and believe in them, because amongst from them, one will come that will carry on when your time is done, Spiky. Did you forget my words so quickly that you can't even see the meaning of my legacy? The future generation will always defeat the older ones. That is a cycle of life. The words, the phrasing, the way he said it. Danzo started to shake in rage, his hands shaking out of control. Fear is a human emotion, Spiky. You should learn not to fight it but accept it, and use it against your enemies, said Naruto. As Naruto stepped forward, Danzo took one backwards. No, you aren't. You're dead. Red markings came on Naruto's face. As his eyes were there, both of them. They were red. He no longer had whisker marks. Death is nothing but a checkpoint in life, Spiky. Death can be defeated. I already proved that much, don't I? I defeated death and mastered life. Do you really think I can't be here? The looming ghost of Tobirama spoke to him. No, you're lying. Tobirama is dead, Danzo yelled, as his right hand started to sprout leaves and branches. Really? You should have known better. Your thoughts were too much in disarray. You should have focused, correct your thoughts, and have balance. Instead, look around. Emotionless tools make no good shinobi, Chimera. They make meat shields. Without heart, there's no mind. Without mind, there's no body. And without body, there's no technique. None can survive without others. And look around. Your greatness lies in broken minds. Admit your defeat. Will you accept your so-called fate that you place on others? Because there is none. Only destiny that is carved by your own hands. I am free from life and death. Deceit, everything. Come on, Spiky. You know the answer. Who am I? Danzo broke his arm off the tree as he collapsed down to the side, panting heavily. Its stump rooted down and became a tree. Toburama sensei, he said. Rest in peace, you old fool, said Naruto, as he swung the blade, as it split right through Danzo's skull, killing the man. His last thoughts went to when he sparred with his sensei, and there was nothing more. Meanwhile, both Fu and Torun come to a stop as they feel the seal on their tongue vanish. The both of them start to go through hand sign. Shit, that's a detonation sequence. Kojiro, run! As the chameleon poofed away, as Naruto moved towards Anko, who was still lying there, as a series of explosions rocked the entire place. As the chaos, the two Kira ninjas fled, and also did the two root members. If their leader could not stand up against Naruto, they had no chance, as Naruto used an ice wall to save himself, along with Anko was still unconscious. He then felt something as he turned. Anko's eyes were wide open, but it wasn't her eyes. The fox seal on her neck was gone, showing what she was holding at bay. Her skin turned scaly, light shades of dark and bright green took over her normal skin. Her eyes were slit like those of snakes. Her arms were larger than her body. The next moment she dashed towards him with murder in her eyes, as Naruto brought his arms up and across the fence with her hand, slammed against it, throwing him backwards as he landed. As Anko disappeared and reappeared behind him, he turned and blew out a gust of wind from his mouth, blowing her back. As the genjutsu that Naruto was wearing that showed him unscathed dropped, to show that he had a few gashes over him, and his armor was chipped, and there was a slight cut right on his forehead. He had faked dodging every single attack from Danzo, to force the man to succumb to his own fear. You killed them, she said, as she was crying tears of blood, as her nails extended into claws that dripped poisonous venom. Naruto ducked as the arm sliced over his head, as his hands started to glow, chakra scalpels, as he hit her right shoulder that stopped responding. Her arm stopped moving, but her left arm slammed into him, throwing him backwards. He slammed into the cave wall. Okay, this isn't good. Q-chan, sorry to wake you up, but this is important, kind of. Oh, I was asleep. Fine. Who are we killing today? Oh wait, you killed Danzo? And you didn't wake me up? I thought we were friends. You told me not to wake you up because it would drain most of my chakra that was necessary for the battle. And not to mention it will attract unnecessary people to our location that can sense your chakra. Basically, the entire Konoha. Fine, alright. Seems the warrior's gonna need some willpower, or my chakra. One of the two needs to go back to her, for my seal to start working again. It's not that easy, said Naruto as he ducked under a swipe, grabbing the arm as he twisted and threw her away. As Naruto dropped down on her and held onto her arms tight. Calm the hell down, he said. Was this the strength achieved by the curse mark? He had to check on Kiba. Her mouth opened up as she fired spider web threads out of her mouth. This is getting ridiculous, said Naruto as he pulled her right and sliced right through the webs. Some of them touch his armor as it started to fizzle. It's acidic? Oh shit. He couldn't get to finish that as her hand slammed into him once again, backhanding him off of her. Did she just use both arms once again? Q-chan, sorry about this, said Naruto, as Anko came towards him with the intent to kill. As Naruto opened his one eye, a deeper shade of blue, as a blue claw extended and grabbed Anko and lifted her off the ground. Blam! It slammed her with great force, as the chakra was poured into her. As her body started to return back to normal, the seal, going back up on her neck, starting to return it back to normal. As Naruto felt tired as he stood there, looking around all the chaos, the bodies, the tree, everything around. I overdid it, he said. As he activated the seal on his chest and there was a poof. As they were out of the cave, the reverse summoned seal. Because in a few minutes or seconds, the envoys would be here, wondering where this place come from in the first place, and the bodies, and what the hell was going on. They would not find Naruto or Anko, and even if Minato and Hiruzen had both felt the chakra of the Kyuubi, they both would keep quiet because Danzo was dead. The mastermind, the one that thought that he was above all, had left the field, and now there was a new game that was going to be played. Time skip, with Kiba. The pain on his neck was unbelievable. He had woken up into the hospital. There was no one around to tell him what was going on. Had they won the exam? Had they failed? Just what the hell was going on? With a groan, he got up. All Inuzukas hated hospitals, but Kiba hated them even more. It was because of the smell and his sensitive nose. And usually, he couldn't get discharged without his mother or sister coming, and he didn't want to see them. Not that soon anyway, as he opened the bed desk and got lucky when he found his stuff. To his surprise, his clothes had been cleaned. Huh. It took a couple of minutes to get dressed. The second question then popped into his mind: where was Akamaru? The hospital has a no pet policy. Only his mother could be around that, because no one take Koromaru from his mother. He suspected that Hana took Akamaru back to the Inzaka compound. So he will have to go through a lot, hearing the insult while getting him back. Still, as he walked outside, he smelled something as he followed his nose and entered the room. As he saw Uncle Senjo, as she seemed like she was suffering from chakra exhaustion, and his sensei was there with a few bandages here and there, but he was still on his feet. Sensei, Kiba said, as Naruto turned and looked towards him. Kiba's eyes went wide. Your eye. It grew back, as Naruto was looking at him with both blue eyes. Kiba was confused, but Naruto simply nodded. Akamaru's doing their own. In the Senju compound, he's fine. He's in the hands of Neji. Tomorrow's the Chunin finals. I'm sorry you couldn't make it. I should have been there for it. Nah. It's not a big deal really, said Kiba. Sure, the thing hurt like hell, but I went against Sani and I'm still alive. I even look better than how you are, Sensei. You look tired, like you're about to fall at any moment. Always optimistic, Kiba. It's a good trait, said Naruto, then nod. As Naruto got to his feet, listen. After the exams, I'm going to remove Hinata from our team. What? Quiet, said Naruto as Kiba shouted. But why, Sensei? He asked in a quiet tone. What happened? She activated the cage bird seal on Neji's forehead in the second round. And that, I cannot forgive, he said. She did that? Kiba was shocked to his core, as Naruto spoke about it was a slave mark, and about how much he hated it, and Hinata agreed with him, and she used it on Neji? So, she's in the finals? No, she lost. Neji won, said Naruto. I didn't know if there were going to be other. Me and Haigo members taking the exam, so I handed him a chakra suppression seal. Did Katsumi pass? Kiba asked. That she did. She appeared up against Soccer. Soccer got some second degree burns from her fire backlash. She's in one of these rooms, said Naruto. Well, this sucks, Kiba said. I expected we all go through this easily. There was always unexpected, Kiba, but yeah. I hope you'd all pass, he said. Sensei, you're crying, Kiba said, as Naruto swiped with the back of his hand on his face. Oh, it's nothing. I'm just merely sad that my daughters had gone with their grandmother on an unexplained trip. He shook his head. I can't lie, even if my life depends on it. Listen, Kiba, this is an S-rank secret. Kiba nodded towards his teacher's words. My daughters have been kidnapped, and it's possible that Tsunade has a part in it. To avoid panic in the population, and to avoid enemy shinobis from seeing Konoha as weak, there has been no missing ninja label ranked on her. The Hokage, by his orders, I cannot have Anvus look for my little girl outside of Konoha. I am stuck here too. Furthermore, it has been discovered that the perpetrator behind the Uchiha massacre was Danzo, who framed Itachi, and also helped Orochimaru escape and with his experiments. So from today on, Itachi Uchiha is no longer a missing name. As Kiba was shocked, Sasuke is gonna be happy. He then paused. Wait. Tsunade-san? But Sensei, what? Kiba didn't understand. He was confused. Did anything else happen while I was out, he asked, because that was just too much for his young mind. Oh yes, said Naruto. It turns out my wife was 1 month pregnant. Turns out the seal on her shoulder failed because of some words I said. And she tapped into the power, and it sent poisonous chakra around her pathways. And she lost a child, and now she's in a coma. Kiba didn't know what to do, so he merely placed hand on Naruto's shoulder and squeezed in the universal gesture of understanding. It's fine, I just need to be here in case the seal acts up again. You should be in bed. They will probably discharge you tonight if they know that you're being a good boy and staying in bed. Yes, Sensei, Kiba says he turned and made his way. He wanted to be discharged, but he also didn't want to be a problem for anyone. If his Sensei wants some time alone, he will give him time alone. As he arrived towards his bed, he wondered how they passed the forest of death. What team they defeat? That was surprising to him. He did not know. Time skip. With you, Jito. Sensei, we did as you told us, so it's A rank pay, right? A boy squinted as he looked towards his Sensei. Yes, Moguro-kun, you did well. The right Hage was pretty clear on lighting the Senju's team wing, said Yujito in a whisper, as they stood inside of a restaurant called Yakinoku. Now eat up all of you. Tomorrow we'll catch a glimpse towards the exam finals, and then back on the road. Do you think I can go on a shopping spree and get paid afterwards? Hiyori, another member of her team, queried. At that moment, Shinkansen, the boy, used the opportunity to grab all the meat on the table, eating it all in one swift movement except for Yujito's, because he didn't have a death wish. Shinkansen, that was dirty of you, Mugra muttered. Shinkansen had the swift release. He simply shrugged. That was one of the reasons she didn't bring her team out to eat. The boy was a pit without any end. You could stuff him with food over and over, and moments later he would be hungry. It had to do with his release probably. But she didn't have the heart to tell them that no, the Raikage did not give them an A-rank mission to make the Senju team win. Obviously, she made the Senju team win because of her organization, the Akatsuki. But she wondered why the Inuzaka did not wake up for the preliminaries. It wasn't a part of the plan was using him as a distraction for the Senju when he grew a bit mad. Instead, the seal had knocked him out for the days required to reach the tower. Giving the team a scroll, leaving it for them, had been for nothing then. At least she could give these three food, they needed. They would have to go back to Kumo without her. Tomorrow, she was gonna officially wear the Akatsuki clothing and renounce Kumo, the village that has trained her like a weapon since the age of 2, sending her on suicide missions, giving her anger, fears and problems, especially with the love life sector. I suppose you should actually wait until you catch in the check, Hiyori-chan, said Yujito, as she ordered more food. Oh yeah, I suppose. Do you think pink is good for toenails? The girl asked, trying to get some small chat of fashion in before the food arrived. I don't know, Hiyori. As I told you before, if it's not useful in battle, I don't care, said Yujito. Although she thinks purple would be better though. Although that would have to wait until she reached the hidden ring, every Jinjoke had been offered to leave, without the option of having their tailpiece removed. To have something better. As more food arrived, she turned her head towards her objective, Kabuto Yakushi. As he was speaking to his Genins, none of them had won. As she saw Kabuto standing to leave, she excused herself after paying the bill. Silently, she followed after him. The Akatsuki spy who had given no information to the enemy, as she waited until he was walking down the alleyway. She then jumped down. It was easy to end his life, but she never expected as Kabuto turned and sliced. She dropped on the ground, a large gash across her stomach. My. I should warn the Hokage. Someone trying to make an attempt on my life. But I guess it can be forgiven. Kumo Kunoichi. Their senses are as keen as ever, she said. Are you happy to see me, or are you merely testing my reflexes, Kabuto asked. Someone has been selling information about the Akatsuki to Konoha, and you think I would be the one? No, she said. Well, of course she'd think that he was the one, but she was going to say that right to his face right here. But you might know who it is, right? I do know, but I think Sasori-sama believed it was I. So why should I tell you? She growled. Fine, calm down, his head. I have a couple of suspects, but I have no proof. So it's my word against theirs. Name them. Itachi and Orochimaru. Itachi has been partner of all of his crimes, and has no reason to be in Akatsuki anymore. Orochimaru only worked for his personal gains, and I'm sure that he had contact with Danzo. Wow, a lot of information and proof. No wonder you're not the prime suspect, Yujito said. Danzo will die tomorrow during the finals, so we might as well ask him then. Well, that's not gonna be possible, because he's dead, you see. What? Who did it? Kabuto, you had no order to... Me? Oh no, it wasn't me, said Kabuto. Whoever it was, they decided to slaughter the root. Kill Danzo and pluck one of his eyes out. And they left. You mean Shisui's eye? The one Itachi spoke about? Yujito asked. Yes. I know I said I don't really have any proof, but only Itachi, with a Sharingan, could have gone up against those many men and survive. No, he didn't leave the base near Konoha. Kisame made sure of it. Then I suspect Orochimaru-san. Kabuto looked around worriedly. I'm afraid I'm not in the mood for a makeout session. Better luck with the next guy that passed by. As he walked off with a wave, as she growled as she turned to leave. As the envoy on the roof that was looking down sighed. Why did all of the hot girls had to be in heat and be from a different country and have a demon inside their stomach when he was on shift? He was completely aware of what they were just discussing. Meanwhile, with Karen, she was huddled in the corner of the room with Yumi sitting next to her in a tight hug as she was trying to keep Yumi calm. She was the oldest one, so she had to protect her younger sibling. There were no auras that she could sense, especially out of the room. It was a perfectly painted white room with flowers. A bundle of picture books, crayons, nothing more. Food arrived through a hole on one side. While there was no windows, light came in on a lamp, and it was turned off when time for sleeping came. She didn't know how long they had been here. She had lost count of time. If it was any indication, lights went off at least 5 times. so it meant that it was now the 5th day. She didn't know what to say to Yumi, who wanted nothing more than to leave and go back to their father, but yet they could not. To make matters worse, the woman kept on coming in, trying to make small talk. She thought that their grandmother was a kind person, yet she was the one that brought them here into this trap. She didn't know why. She knew that they were being watched. She had used a small piece of paper to summon a chameleon, as it could not be summoned while it was in this room. Chakras suppressing walls, chakras suppressing seals. If she didn't have her bloodline, she wouldn't have been able to summon it. With a bit of luck, her father would come to rescue them. Yumi started to whimper again. Apple-chan, I want to go home. Dad come soon? Yeah, Yumi-chan, he'll be here soon, really. As she started to pat it, Yumi's here. She looked at the root of her baby sister's hair. She had done enough medical ninjutsu training with her grandmother, so she knew the root of the hair wasn't supposed to be a different color than the tip. A bit darker, yes, but a completely different color. No. Still, Yumi was still growing, so Karen thought that her hair was just changing with age. A lot of born blonde children had their hair turn darker with time. The door then opened up as a woman entered once more. Is everything alright? Asked Natty, as she took a seat close to the door. No, we want out of here, Karen snapped back, as she held on to Yumi tightly. Yumi didn't understand why she couldn't go and hug her grandmother. Not yet, I'm sorry, but we have to keep you both safe. Safe from what? Asked Karen. Our parents can protect us both with ease. No, if they meet this person, they will die. The way Snally said that, it wasn't a lie, and Karen could tell that. Like if I'll believe you, she said, that she wanted to know more. But Snally was tight-lipped about who this person was and what was going on. Not even a book in here, or anything. I can get you books, but you can't leave until Naruto becomes Hokage. Father is good and everything, but he's not gonna become Hokage tomorrow. So they were gonna stay in here for years, and he's gonna be angry at you after what you did to us. I'm just keeping you safe, said Natty, and without Danzo knowing. You could tell father, Karen said, or mom at least. Your mom? No. No need to tell you that. What? What happened to our mom? As Yumi started to cry even more. Calm down, you're frightening Yumi, said Snatty. She wouldn't be frightened if she had her parents with her. Tell me, what happened to her mother? You really want to know? Once I tell you, there's no going back. Out with it already, said Karen. I want to know the truth. Don't we all, said Snatty. She took a deep breath as she started to talk. Yumi, it's not your sister. Well, I know that. I'm not really related by blood to... No. She's not uncle or Naruto's daughter either. I don't know what her mother wanted to call her since she died at child's birth. But Yumi is an Uchiha. As Karen's eyes went wide. What? But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Josh and Seal inside of him, and enjoy that guys. And also over in anime, you can post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was the Legendary Neglected Uzumaki. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy as well guys. But for now, I'm out of here. See you guys soon. Peace out.